Alright, so just like a lot of things in math, the more you can figure things out or discover things on your own, the better off you'll be. The better you'll remember it, the better you'll understand it. So just like the last lesson, we're going to try to do the same thing here. Down below I've got 4 problems here, and I'd like you to write each problem out the long way, meaning what these exponents are actually telling us. And then see if you can come up with a pattern and create a shortcut. So this first one I'm going to start for you. So we've got 5 to the second power, and then what's going on here is we've got a set of parentheses to group it all together, and then outside of those parentheses is the exponent of 4, or to the 4th power. And so what that's telling us, first off, in the parentheses, is 5 to the second power, meaning 5 times itself 2 times. And what the 4th power on the outside is saying is we're just going to repeat that group of parentheses 4 times. And now, if you look at this, whether you write them as parentheses or you write them with the dot, it's all just multiplication here. So essentially, the parentheses really aren't necessary. It is just 5 times itself, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. So I could rewrite this problem as 5 to the 8th. And then if I needed to, I could actually compute that and figure out what 5 to the 8th is. Same thing on this next one. X to the 3rd power, in parentheses, the whole thing to the 5th power. So x to the 3rd power would just be x times itself 3 times. And then those parentheses, that set of parentheses, multiplied times itself 5 times. So there's twice, 3 times, 4 times, and 5 times. So again, if you were to simplify that down, think about what that would look like. Okay, try that with number 3 and number 4, and then see if you can't develop a pattern that allows you to skip the long way here and just go directly to the answer. What shortcut or pattern can you come up with? Alright, so at this point you've finished your work from the last video, and hopefully you've come up with something like this, where we've just taken our meaning of exponents and combine them with this idea of parentheses, where, for example here, 2 to the 4th power in parentheses means 2 times itself 4 times inside its own set of parentheses. And then those parentheses to the 3rd power means that group's going to get multiplied 3 times. And so here we get 2 to the 12th. Our other answers, the last one, y to the 12th, and that one we left you off on, x to the 15th. Now, it's all well and good to be able to do this the long way, and it's important to know how to do this because that way we understand the meaning of these exponents. But at some point, writing these middle portions out over and over again can be kind of just tiring. And so what we want to do is we want to find a shortcut and be able to jump straight from our problem to the simplified answer, as in all these cases. Now if you look closely at the exponents, hopefully you came up with a pattern that would give you these exponents above our base number, which turns out is this. In words, what we can say is when we have these problems where we have a power to a power, sometimes in class we'll refer to it as a double exponent problem, all we have to do is multiply the exponents. And algebraically, this rule looks like this. If I have some base number x to the power of m, and then in parentheses, those parentheses are then taken to the power of n, it is the same thing as doing x, our base number, to the power of m times n. And so now we've got a quick way to do this work. And in fact, on these problems here, we can practice a little bit. So for example, number 1, we've got 2 to the 4th power, in parentheses, to the 7th power. So if we imagine 2 times itself 4 times, but then that group times itself 7 times, again, all we're doing is multiplying our exponents. So 4 times 7 is 28. So this would be the same thing as 2 to the 28th power. And if we needed to, we could simplify this further and get whatever 2 to the 28th power is. But for our purposes, we're just going to stop here because it's all about figuring out this shortcut. Same thing here. On this problem, w to the 5th power, the whole thing in parentheses to the 3rd power, again, we just multiply the exponents. 5 times 3 is 15. So this would turn out to be w to the 15th.